Hi guys, today we'll be looking at how to commission our Ceramics G120 CPN frequency drive. To start with, you select your setup and then you press OK. It asks if you want to reset the drive. You press OK and select yes. Ideally, you should reset your drive before proceeding to commission the drive. This will take a few minutes, maybe a minute for it to be done. When it's done, you see your done indicator and then you proceed to commission the data into the system. So we'll wait for the reset to be complete. When the reset is complete, then we proceed. It is done. Now the first parameter is parameter 96. It's talk about drive application. So you press enter. It's asked if you want to select standard application, expert application, or dynamic application. I'll be talking about the dynamic and then the standard application. For the standard application, they are only for induction motors. And then for the dynamic applications, they are for induction motors and then synchronous motors. Some of the applications for the standard applications includes pumps, fans, compressors with flow characteristics, wet or dry blasting technology, mills, mixer, kneaders, crushers, agitators, horizontal conveyor technologies, basic spindles. And then for the dynamic applications, its motor applications include centrifuge, extruders, rotary furnaces, and then pumps. I'll be using my motor for conveyor running, so I'll be selecting my standard applications. And then you are asked to select your motor standard. My motor is an IEC standard. So when you press enter, this is for IEC standard, and then this is for NEMA standard. This is also for IEC standard, HPC 0 Hz. It's also an IEC standard, but we'll be using KW 50 Hz. That's also for our IEC standard. You press enter and then it asks for input voltage. That's parameter 210. Or in other words, supply voltage for the inverter. I'm using a 3-phase supply for my inverter. A 3-phase supply is 400 volts. So I select my 400 volts, press enter. It asks for motor type. My motor type, press OK, and then you see induction. Because I'm using induction motor, I select OK. And then you see 87 Hz motor operation. The BOP, the basic operator panel, only displays this step if you previously selected IEC as your motor standard. So yes, I selected IEC as my motor standard. That's a 50 kilohertz. So I select OK and then no, and then I proceed OK. It asks for motor voltage. That's parameter 304. With the motor voltage, you get this voltage from your motor nameplate. So when you press OK, I'm having a typical induction motor here. We'll use that as an example. So it asks for motor voltage. And this is my motor voltage. For delta connection, 220 volts. For star connection, 380 volts. So I'll enter 380 volts. You press down till you get 380 volts. Press OK. And then it asks for motor current. For 380 volt star connections, its current is 1.30 amps. So you come back to your drive, you press OK, select, and then you select 1.30 amps. Amps for a motor current. Press OK when you are done, and then it asks for motor power. You press OK, and then you reference from your motor nameplate My motor power is 0.55 kilowatts. 0.55 kilowatts. My motor frequency is also 50 hertz. My motor frequency is also 50 hertz. So motor power is 0.55 kilowatts. Press enter. Motor frequency, you press OK, and then you select your 50 hertz. And then your motor RPM, your motor revolution per minute. You press OK, you get this data from your motor, and then on your motor nameplate it says 2825 for motor RPM. So you come back and then you select 2825 for your motor RPM. So this, select your 2825 for your motor RPM. And then you press OK. And then it asks for motor cool. It basically means the cooling type for the motor. You press OK. And then it's a self-cool because this motor has a cooling fan that will be cooling the motor, so it's a self-cool. You press OK, and then your next parameter is parameter 501. Parameter 501 basically talks about your applications, the application you'll be using the motor for. Let me set the screen on parameter 501. So parameter 501 only talks about the applications, and then when you press OK, it asks if you want to select vect standard. This one is for constant loads. Typical application includes conveyor belt drives. So normally your conveyors that runs on a constant loads, you select this one. And then the next parameter, the next option is the pump fan. This one's are speed dependent loads. Typical application include pumps and then fans. So because earlier on I said I'll be running on constant load, I'll be selecting my vect standard. Press OK. My next parameter is parameter 15. And then this one, ideally you select the default setting for the interface for the inverter. This is suitable for your application. And then you'll find the default settings normally you maintain this as your default settings. Your default settings. It talks about the interface for your drive. Press OK, and then it asks for your minimum RPM, your minimum revolution per minute that your drive can rotate when you start running. That's your parameter 1080. I've selected 0 as my minimum, and then I've selected 3000 as my maximum revolutions per minute. Parameter 1120 ramp up. So ramp up simply means how many seconds the motor should run before it gets to full load. I've selected 10 seconds. You can select any seconds you want. I've selected 10 seconds. So when I start my motor, by 10 seconds it should be running at full speed. Selected 10 seconds. Ramp down, how many seconds your motor should take before it stops when you press the stop button. So you press OK. I've selected 10 seconds also, 10 seconds for it to reach the stop button. and you press OK. So normally this parameter 1135 is for ramp down time for of 3 commands. You will not be using that. So you are done with your basic commissioning. You press, it asks if you are done, and then you select your yes, press enter, and then wait for an indication that the commissioning has been completed. So we wait for an indication that the commissioning is done. So it says it's done. You can proceed to use the drive to run the motor.